Hi, this is Raquel with Paints and Glitter and welcome to my channel. Let's learn how to upload and use an SVG file in Cricut Design Space. First, click Upload and Download Image when you're in Design Space. You're going to select Browse and you're going to look for the file where you placed it when you made the purchase. I happen to have it on my desktop here, so I'm just looking for my file, select the name and click Open. This is going to give me an upload image preview that I'm able to see. And it also allows me to tag my file so that I can find it more easily the next time I go to use it. Here I'm just placing names like Mother's Day, hat box, anything you want to write on here is okay. Then click the green button in the corner here, and then you're going to see your file and you can insert it onto your canvas. I'm going to upload that again. Click Upload Image, Browse, go to my computer, which is going to pop up here, find my file, click Open, and I see my preview again. I can again add tags if this is all part of one file. In this case it is, so I'm just going to write hat box and Mother's Day again. That way it's easy to find. Then I can definitely place any other details here and click Start. Now here I can see my file and I can insert my image. So I can go ahead and add any images to my canvas, but here I have 3, so I'm going to upload the next one, click Browse, find my next file because all these work together, click Open. I see my preview. I can name the tag, once again the same thing because again they all work together, so these are good ideas to use your little tags there. Click Save. And now when I see my images here, I can once again add them onto my canvas. Now you're going to see that these 3 files have quite a bit of pieces here, but before you can use them, you want to resize them. So that's why you can make a box around the files. Let's just start with these 2 to begin with. Resize it. And for the box that you saw in my previous video, it was around about 4.5 inches wide at the bottom. You can make it bigger or larger. That's really up to you. But let's use your cursor here to make sure that you look at your canvas to see what size it is that you do want to work with. And so you can use the guidelines on your grid in the background there. That's a great way to use the canvas on Design Space. Once you've made the decision of how big you want your box, you're going to want to right click on this and ungroup because you're going to work with individual pieces to get them to work on this particular machine. I'm going to do the same thing again, select my pieces and ungroup them. This way you can make multiple pieces of whichever ones you need to copy and paste. Now let's start with this one here. I'm looking at my lines and I see that they're all solid, but some of these are supposed to be score lines. So let's change that so that my paper doesn't get cut off where you see those lines there on the inside of that box. So in order to change this, I'm going to ungroup it. And then I'm going to select the lines that are supposed to be the score lines. I just click on them and a box forms right around those lines. I'm going to go up to the line type and change that to a score line. It's that simple. Now I want to make sure that these come back together where they used to be. So I'm going to select the entire shape again and right click and attach. This will make sure that those score lines stay on the shape that I had worked on. I'm going to move on to my next one because I see the same thing happening here. Right click and ungroup. Select the shapes that I need to change to score lines. In this case, it's these 3 lines in the center. I'm going to start off with those, change that to score line, and then also the 2 lines that are horizontal on this shape, on the interior of the shape. Now you saw there, my shape kind of moved. All I have to do is arrange this and move it to the back, and my little lines are going to show up again. So if you select the wrong shape, don't worry about it. So now highlight the shapes that you do want to change to score line. Click Score. That's going to move those shapes or change them to score lines, and then you can move your shape to the background and you see all of a sudden the score lines showed up again. So no need to panic. You can select everything again, right click and attach, and your shape will have all of the score lines that it needs. You can now move on to the next one. It's going to be this little strip here. So you can right click, ungroup, find your little score lines, which are just going to be 2. Go ahead and change those to score by selecting them and clicking on the drop down arrow, change that to score, and you can select all of these pieces and right click and attach. This next piece here is the same. It's just got 3 score lines. So I'm going to select the ones that I need to change, and so on and so forth. And we're almost done. There's only a couple of more pieces here that will need this. Now the benefit is that once you do this, you're going to save this file onto your Cricut Design Space files, and you're never going to have to do this again. So I know it's a little bit of work, but it's well worth it. So this piece here has these 2 interior lines. The 2 inside lines here also need to be score lines, so you can just right click, select them, change them to score lines, group them again by forming a box over the entire thing, and click attach. Now these 2 little circles here, it's the same thing. They just have a little score line in the center, so it's up to you if you want to go ahead and do that, or if you even want to change them to draw lines. If you want to draw on these circles, go ahead and do that. You can, the sky's the limit when it comes to these files, so you can definitely do more. I'm just showing you how to simply change those little score lines there, so that way you don't cut your paper incorrectly. So now we've got all of our shapes here attached with the score lines, and those score lines are going to remain on that. And my shapes look exactly as I want them to, so that way I can work with these and I don't have to worry about my paper cutting incorrectly. Now, what is this third file for here? This one here is going to be for you to layer pieces onto your box. So you can ungroup them and easily take one of the smaller rectangle here and size it to fit the bottom of your box. So that's what this little shape is for. So just go ahead and drag on the corner arrow. This will allow you to resize that little rectangle. So if you like a tighter fit on your designer paper, you can select that. You can do the same thing with the larger rectangle. Just change the angle there by 90 degrees and you can make that horizontal also. And use that dragging cursor on the corner there, the little arrow, to resize that. And so it's up to you how much space you leave, of course, on the outside there. Now, these little arrow shaped pieces, if you will, are meant to decorate the bottom of your box on the outside as well, but you can also use them as reinforcement on the inside. It's really up to you. So you can definitely resize these also. And those other little purple shapes, the one with the hearts and circles, same thing there. You can use them as you wish on this file. Now, these here have the 3 sentiments. They say para ti, pour toi, and also for you. Those 3 tags you can resize, and you're going to want to right click on them and either draw them onto your paper, that's up to you, or you can right click on them and click flatten, and this is going to give you a print and cut file, meaning that then the Cricut will know that you want to print these pieces onto a piece of paper. Just place the cardstock into your printer and it's going to give you guidelines when you select make it, and see that. Now it knows to print that and then feed it into your Cricut, and that way you can cut them out. Here you see the next mat here where the shapes are rearrangeable. You can definitely take a piece, move it over to another mat if you want to. So I'm just showing you other little things that you can do here. Say your project is orange and you want to put it on an orange mat for your own use. So you can do that. Those are just little features of the Cricut. It's not necessary, but it is useful if you want to use that. And also you can select the shape, and because there's going to be a top and bottom in this light blue color, then you can go ahead and select it, and I'm showing you how you can duplicate this. So if you're working on more than one project, say you're making 2 boxes, then by all means you can go ahead and duplicate this and make 2 tops and 2 bottoms. It'll go onto your mat. You can group them, you can align them, make sure they're nice and straight, so that way you're not wasting paper or cardstock before you feed it into your machine. You'll know exactly where they are on your mat and exactly how much space it's going to take for you to make one of these boxes. So all of these features are available in Cricut. However, because it is an SVG file that's already created with the type of software that I use, then those little score lines just weren't showing up. So I wanted to make sure that I helped you guys with this. Of course, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I hope this has been helpful to you, that you can be inspired and be blessed. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.